Hello, my friends. How are you today? Would you like to participate in a crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theory with me today? Because that's what we're going to do. Remember, I've kept myself locked in this truck for years. I might be losing my mind, but who really knows? So what we're going to talk about today is actually, I was reminded of this by a commenter earlier today when I woke up. I'm checking my comments like I do, and it's actually something I meant to talk about in the last video, and I completely forgot about it. So he said on the last video that there's a lot of truck drivers out there that are just living in fear, basically, of being perceived as lazy people, and that's why they are so willing to do a lot of work for free. With that said, I meant to bring that up on the last video, and today we're going to talk about how a generation used the media to wage mental war, psychological warfare against another generation. If you give me a minute, I'll eventually figure out the words I want to use, but you got to give me a second sometimes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. With that said, of course, I got a few people to thank for the super thanks on the last video. So we've got It's Stumpy with $5 on the last video. Thank you, Stumpy. Appreciate the continued support and just appreciate you being here, Stumpy. Private Pile with another $5 on the last one. Thank you too, Private Pile. I appreciate you, and thank you too for the continued support. And then we've got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Barry McCockiner. Barry McCockiner with $10 on the last video. I'm gonna giggle every time I see that name. Good work, Barry. And thank you for the $10. Appreciate it. And I was just getting ready to record this video when this one came through from Christian, and it's 27 SEK. I had to go look that up. I guess it's the Swedish krona. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate your support to the channel from all the way over there in Sweden. We're worldwide, baby. But thank you once again, Christian. And thank you to everyone helping my humble little channel grow. We are around 200 subscribers away from reaching 10,000 subscribers. So if you're just watching for the first time or you haven't pushed the button yet, go ahead and hit subscribe for me so I can stop bitching about that. And as always, thank you to everyone that watches the videos, gives me a like on the videos, and most of the people that comment, because some of the comments are fucking stupid. So today we are going to talk about lazy people. Oh, I can't stand lazy people. Actually, one of my biggest pet peeves in life is lazy people. I believe firmly in you go out there and you put in the work for what it is you want. I strongly believe in that. Sometimes you get your ass kicked. Sometimes you don't get what you want, but can you get back on that horse and ride? That is the most respectable trait I see in people. And it just chaps my ass when I see lazy people out there, and I don't know why it bothers me so much. Hey, if you want to be lazy and that's what you want to do, then that's fine, but lazy people really bother me. You can spot lazy people on YouTube. Want me to tell you how? Normally they're so uninteresting, uninspiring, no charisma, nothing worth listening to, and they know that, so they do this weird thing where they do some clout chasing, and they put other people who have put in the work, they put their name in the title so somebody will finally pay attention to them. Yeah, pretty tragic there, but hey, you know, I guess that's just how it goes. If it were me, I wouldn't want to wake up the next day and say, oh my God, I gained 20 subscribers from having that man in my mouth. And I mean, I'm just saying, if that's something that other people like doing, that's fine. I mean, prostitutes and porn stars have been putting men in their mouth for money for years. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. And prostitution, oldest profession in history, they say. Recession proof, baby. But yeah, it used to be a time on YouTube where clout chasing was frowned upon, but you know, this new generation, right? They don't want to put in the work. They're the steering wheel holders of YouTube trucking. Just set the cruise control and you know, profit off the work that other people did. Good for them. So you can find those lazy people for sure. They certainly do exist, and they're popping up more and more every day. I don't know what that's about. I really need that man's name to make me some views, because I'm so goddamn boring that I need it. Yeah, it's frustrating. I just don't, have I mentioned that lazy people kind of disgust me a little bit, especially when they're taking advantage of the work that other people did. It's fucking gross. It makes my skin crawl a little bit, if I'm being honest with you. Not respectable, not admirable in any sense of the word at all. But anyways, we're talking about lazy people. So here we go, the tinfoil conspiracy theory that I have for the day. Let's get into it. So you guys remember, I am a millennial. I am by definition a millennial, an older one, an elder millennial, so to speak. Come sit around the campfire and I'll tell you a tale of a time before cell phones, a time before pagers even, a time before high-speed internet. Millennials are an interesting generation because us older ones, we were around long before all that stuff existed, and then we kind of crossed generations and all that stuff sort of, we grew up with it still, even though it didn't exist when we were kids. It's kind of a weird generation to be in. There's a lot of people that don't understand the millennials and baby boomers and Gen X and all that. They think it's your age. Did you guys know that? People think it's your age is what makes you what generation you are. Because those people are dumb fucks is what I'm trying to tell you. I had a guy that was my age a few years ago arguing with me, screaming at me that there's no way you're a millennial because I'm not a millennial either. That doesn't make sense. Yes, you are, stupid. What the fuck are you talking about right now? There's people that think that as they get older, they graduate up to the next generation, and that's just not how it fucking works. But hey, you know, the world takes all kinds. If not for dumb people, we wouldn't have people to laugh at now, would we? Nah, we sure wouldn't. So anyways, I remember being somewhere around, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. Just minding my business, being a kid, right? Like I said, it was like sort of cross-generation. So we had our video games, of course, but we'd also go out and throw a football with the boys. You know, we go out there and climb trees, ride bikes, skateboard, and Gen X, I'm going to shock you a little bit. I don't mean to steal your thunder, but we also drink from the garden hose. I know, fucking crazy, right? Fucking absolutely insane. I'm just surprised we're not dead too, Gen X. Shit, we drank from the garden hose also. I know, that was your claim to fame, and I'm sorry that I crushed your dreams, but yeah, we also did that too. But sorry, Gen X, I gotta make fun of you sometimes. I hope you don't mind. You probably do, but I hope you don't. Anyways, I was just minding my business as a kid one day, and suddenly it seemed like all the adults' attitudes towards all the kids just suddenly shifted, just out of nowhere. Oh, you are a lazy piece of shit. You don't fucking do nothing. And I'm not saying my parents specifically were like abusing me and bullying me or anything like that. I'm saying the general consensus of the entire country all of a sudden was that they had shitty, lazy kids that were never going to amount to do nothing, and they didn't do fucking anything at all. Right? It just happened overnight. I remember it very clearly. I'm like, God damn, yesterday they liked me. What the fuck is going on? And I quickly realized what was going on. What am I trying to say? The news outlets, the major national news outlets, all of a sudden started cranking out stories about how millennials were entitled, spoiled brats that never were going to work and all these things, right? You know, it was right around the time Fox News was really just starting their propaganda machine, right when they were seeing, like, how much can we lie to the general public before people just stop believing us. They were really testing the guardrails, you know, testing the water. And look, I know some people are mad right now. They're like, I really like Fox News, Josh, and how dare you say that? Listen, all I'm saying is every time they get called into court to get sued, why is it always that their defense is, we're not a news outlet, we're for entertainment purposes only. And it holds up most of the time. I'm just saying that it's a propaganda network. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Nothing to be offended about. People are so weird. You remember when Texas got mad at me because their power grid went down one time and I relentlessly made fun of it and they were super offended about their power grid? Now there's probably a bunch of people offended that I made fun of Fox News. Oh no, he made fun of Fox News. I did, and I'll do it again. I'll do it again. But they were like just spreading this crazy theory, this crazy idea that all millennials were just lazy and entitled, and that's the next generation of trucking YouTubers. That's not us millennials. You know, the guys dropping people's names and titles for views, they're lazy and entitled. Not us. But the weird thing about it was we weren't even old enough to get jobs yet. We had no fucking idea. We couldn't get jobs. I'm 12. Why are you yelling at me? And I even had a job when I was 12. I did quite a bit of work by the time I was 12. I used to deliver the newspaper in the bag that you throw over your shoulders and you load it full of newspapers. I was raised on fucking farms. Yeah, I know I'm kind of short, but I got farm boy strength, right? I used to work on farms when I was young. Not like the big guys that turn into football players like Jordy Nelson or whatever, like that dude could kick the shit out of me, I'm sure. He probably wouldn't. He seems like a nice guy, but those are the guys that lived on the farm their whole life, right? So I was actually used to working by the time I was 12. It was just kind of normal. I could drive a tractor even. I fucking knew how, right? But then we're getting yelled at that we don't want to fucking work. We don't want to work. And it didn't make any fucking sense. Here's what I think happened. I think the media did it on purpose. I think they were setting it up for this very, very time right now. They were preparing us all to be deathly afraid that one day somebody's going to refer to us as lazy, and we never ever wanted that title because they had convinced our parents to beat us over the head with it and tell us what lazy pieces of shit we were, that we were deathly afraid of the word lazy. This is bigger than trucking, my friends, my conspiracy theory that I'm just making up right now, okay? For anyone taking this seriously, I could be full of shit. I'm not saying I am. I'm saying I very well could be, though. But then we got older, right? Us millennials got older, and my God, we didn't ever want nobody to call us lazy. We are the millennials. We're going to go out there and get work done. And you know what? It actually ended up, don't get offended by this either, but it actually ended up that millennials were one of the most... what is it? God damn it. Productive generations that ever existed in human history. Listen, before you get all crazy about that, I'm not talking about we went to war. We didn't go fight in World War II or anything like that. Because I wouldn't have made it, boy. I would have been dead on day one. That's for damn sure. Hey, there were some real badasses back there. There were our actual heroes of this country that went to fucking war and fucking got shit done. I'm not being a warmonger right now. I'm just saying there's been some bad motherfuckers in human history. What I'm not doing is equating that to millennials. What I mean by productive, what I mean by that is we just shut the fuck up and we did our jobs. And we never asked for anything better for ourselves, because the minute we say, hey, I deserve more. I'm here busting my ass every day and I deserve just a little bit better for myself, don't you think? There would be somebody going, look, an entitled millennial. I guess he just thinks just by showing up, he just gets whatever he wants. Everybody look at this millennial over here, just waiting for a handout. That's all those millennials want. And we're like, what the fuck? We work all the time. What in the fuck are you talking about? Why the fuck would you say that about me? And it didn't matter what we did. It didn't matter what the fuck we did. There was nothing we could do to change the narrative that we were a lazy, spoiled, entitled generation, even though we never got to live that life. I never in my life have had the luxury of being lazy or spoiled or entitled. It never ever came up. Never happened. Anyways, how this applies to trucking. It's the same thing, but we'll get to it. How it applies to trucking. You guys have seen me over the years absolutely lose my fucking mind. I cannot believe that truckers won't just come together on simple things like truckers should be compensated for all their work. We can't agree on that. Are you shitting me? There will always be someone off a statement like that that is a trucker. There's a CDL holder that has been driving a truck, that is driving a truck, and like the rest of us will probably forever drive a truck that will disagree with you and tell you that you deserve less. And when you try to argue with him, he, a millennial, will also tell you the same thing. He'll go, oh, you're just one of those spoiled brats, huh? You just want everybody to hand something to you. No, I want an even exchange of my labor for their fucking money. All right? Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? And apparently it is. Apparently the fuck it is. So this is actually something I've noticed for a long time too. I think, like I said earlier, as I so eloquently put it, as I tried to find my words earlier, and eventually got to psychological warfare. They did this shit on purpose. They fucked with us and told us what worthless fucks we were so that we would forever be worried about what our image was when it came to work, so that we don't stop working, get it? So that we just stay here for fucking ever and just drive the fucking trucks or work in the factories or whatever, and just fucking not ever want somebody to accuse us of being lazy. So when it comes to trucking, you see a lot of that. You see so much of that. The commenter that was talking to me said that I think maybe he works a local truck driving job. Sorry, I just kind of skimmed over it, so you'll have to forgive me. Let's say hypothetically he works a local truck driving job. He said that his coworkers often will stay after work and, you know, work for free because he feels that they don't ever want to be perceived as being lazy. So these guys spent all day driving the truck, right? And then they get the truck into the yard, and look, there's a clear separation, or there should be a clear separation of when you're working and when you're not. If you're a local driver, let's say you're a local driver and you're getting paid by the hour, and you pull into the yard and maybe you need 10 minutes to clean up the truck. You need to air it out, like with the air hose or whatever you're doing. That's on duty. That's working. That's something you should be getting paid for. But a lot of guys straight up will not take that money. They say, no, I don't want it because I'm not actually working. I just keep my head down and do what I'm told to do, and I want to rock the boat here. Rock the fucking boat. Jesus Christ, what are we all so damn scared of? Check this out. Now, I'll tell you guys a little secret, a little spoiler alert about life. We all die at the end, right? So what happens if you rock the boat a little bit? Nothing. Maybe you die a little bit sooner, but you know, maybe if you rock the boat a little too hard, you get to get some rest a little bit earlier, and that sounds fun, doesn't it? Jeez, that was probably some of the worst shit I've ever said on this channel. Anyways, I really think there's something to that. I really, really do. It drives me fucking crazy. It drives me absolutely insane to say we don't deserve it. And you know, a lot of people come to me and go, Josh, why don't you work another sector of the trucking industry? Listen, fuckers, I enjoy being an over-the-road truck driver, okay? I'm doing this to myself. Don't act like I don't fucking know that. I am doing this to myself. But I like being an over-the-road truck driver. It wasn't that long ago. Oh, remember COVID? Oh, those over-the-road truck drivers, national heroes, that guy. And listen, I don't want to be called a national hero. Knock that shit off. I did not serve in the military. I kind of wish I would have now, but that doesn't do me a damn bit of good now, does it? It's something look, I've never bullshitted you guys on my channel. When I was 18, 19 years old, I was terrified of the fucking world. Send me to the military, to boot camp, I would have been crying. I would have been fucking crying. Now that I'm in my 40s and I've traveled the whole country, it might be kind of fun to travel the fucking world a little bit, wouldn't it? Yeah. Now I probably have a better mindset to go do something like that. How did I get off on a military tangent? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, COVID, right? Yeah, we were so amazing. Oh, God bless the truck drivers. Thank the truckers. All this shit, right? Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, we were just trying to pay our bills, if I'm being fucking honest with you. But even then, this whole trucker on trucker anger right now, where now we talk down on people for being over-the-road freight haulers, this is new. This has not always been like this. This used to be, according to truckers, a respectable career where a man could go out and make a living, support his family, and all that thing. There was not a time when I started trucking. Look, there's ball busting. Absolutely. Ball busting's part of any blue-collar work, but also trucking. Like, talking shit, busting some balls is one thing, right? But to straight up attack a guy for having a job, what fucking planet am I living on? We used to respect the over-the-road haulers. We used to respect the local drivers, and I do respect the local drivers. I make fun of them a lot because they're goofy as fuck. They all inflated numbers of how much money they earn. Yeah, we know, okay? I've been a local driver. I know how much you make, and it's not what you say you make. I promise you that. But ball busting is one thing. But straight up hating on a man for going out and doing his job and getting an essential job done that's part of the entire economy, which, let's not kid ourselves, most jobs are an integral part of the economy where we all are working together to accomplish the same goals of buying bullshit we don't need, apparently. That's the goal. Getting fatter by the day. That's the fucking goal. That's what we're all trying to accomplish. So at the end, we create generational wealth for someone else and their family, while our family's strapped with crippling debt when we die, because we believed in working for a living. Fuck, I guess we circled back. Fuck working. I'm a lazy millennial. I don't fucking know. But I don't know how to explain it. That is truly the way I feel about it, because it was a campaign. It was an absolute campaign against an attack campaign against a generation to convince them that they were something that they never were in the first place. So they didn't even have a chance to prove. Like, when you're 12, did you have a chance to prove that you weren't lazy? I don't think that you did. And it worked. They got us all, my friends. They convinced us all that if we speak up just a little bit, and it's because we're lazy and we're entitled. Remember, they busted up all the unions, right? We don't want these union workers out here making too much money. They convinced us all that unions were bad for us. Oh yeah, don't you hate it when the unions get your family health care? That fucking sucks. That's the worst thing ever. You know what's better than health care? Being 6 figures in debt on health and health related problems because you fucking didn't have health care. That's way better. See why unions are ripping you off? Don't you get it now? You know what's better than higher wages? Lower wages. Come on, millennials, get your shit together. You know what's better than you making more money? The rich people over there making more money. Millennial, you entitled little prick. What the fuck is wrong with you? And yeah, that's what happened. I'm 100% certain that that's what happened. And like I was saying earlier, it is across the board. It's in every sector, every line of work, even prostitution probably. Nobody wants to be a lazy prostitute, right? I don't fucking know. I'm just saying hypothetically that nobody wants to do that, right? She just laid there and I paid $20. I don't know. I've never paid for a prostitute. I don't think I have. I've had many wild nights out here on the road where I probably drank too much. So maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying I have. I'm not saying I haven't. I'm just saying that if I did pay for one, I wouldn't want her to just lay there, now would I? That would be a waste of my fucking money. I think. I don't. I really probably shouldn't be having this whole crisis on camera for everyone to see. You know, where I'm standing here debating myself if the pros outweigh the cons of buying a prostitute. I don't know that this is a conversation that should go on YouTube. And with that all in mind, that's the reason I am now going to upload it to YouTube. Bye now.